Hello, everyone. I'm certified natural healthcare practitioner Erin Thole, and today we are going to talk about the Spectral Cell Micronutrient panel. So, this is a panel that I do quite frequently in my practice. It is a blood test, so you're going to need to have a blood draw. And no matter where you are, I can find a lab for you, a traveling phlebotomist company that can come out to you to do your blood draw. So, don't worry about how you're going to get it done. It will get done. Let's talk about the specifics of the test and why I use this panel in particular in my practice. So, this panel is so great because it's looking at something called the leukocytes, which is part of the white blood cell. So, when you go to your primary care physician, if they run like your yearly panel would be like a CBC with differential, which has a few different minerals on it, and they might test your vitamin D level and things like that. So it's not a complete panel. It's not testing for all of your vitamins, all of your minerals, your antioxidants, your amino acids. It's not looking at all of that. So it's not extremely comprehensive. The other thing with it is it's a red blood cell test. And when you're looking at just the red blood cells, I'm just able to see what's floating around in the blood. It doesn't tell me anything about what's getting into the cell and actually being utilized by the body. So a lot of times there's a lot of roadblocks with this. Specifically, I see this a lot with thyroid patients who are constantly having their vitamin D level checked, and they're like, yep, it's in range. It's always been low, but now I finally got it in range, but I don't feel any different. Well, is that vitamin D actually getting into the cell? If it's not, you're deficient. Even if you have a bunch of vitamin D floating around in your blood, if your body cannot utilize it, you are deficient. So this panel, because we're looking at those leukocytes, which is again part of that white blood cell, is actually able to tell us what's getting driven into the cell. What is the body actually utilizing on a day-to-day basis? So in that, we're able to see true chronic deficiency. What is actually permeating that cell membrane and getting utilized by that cell and what isn't. So a red blood cell test and a white blood cell test are going to look different a lot of the times. Typically on that CBC with differential, nothing's really going to look out of balance unless you have like a severe medical condition like cancer or something like that. Otherwise, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back looking perfectly fine. With this panel, with the one that I do, it's actually going to look at not just, right this second in time, because of what we're looking at with the blood, we're actually able to see true chronic deficiency. So about 4 to 6 months worth of deficiency, worth of like what your body has been working with, what your body's dealing with. And it's very, very extensive. So it's going to look at your vitamins, your minerals, your antioxidant status, your immune status, your amino acids. It's also going to look at your glucose and insulin interaction. It's going to give us a list of those deficiencies and then borderline deficiencies as well, which I always take into account. So when I'm looking at this panel, I'm always keeping in my mind what is going on with this client as an individual. So what did they come to me with in terms of health history? Do they have a thyroid issue? Do they have adrenal fatigue? Are they massively, fatigued and maybe depressed or have anxiety? Do they have digestive issues? Like what's going on with them? Autoimmunity, like all these things we want to take into consideration, because the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, is what is recommended for each nutrient based on a perfectly healthy individual that has no health conditions, no genetic SNPs, nothing going on whatsoever. They're basically a superhuman robot. They have no issues whatsoever, which is literally no one. Everybody has a health history of some degree. Everybody has genetic SNPs, whether they're aware of them or not. And so that variable, or those variables, really, really do play into how much of each nutrient you need, especially with things like B vitamins. which are very, very potent and necessary for things like methylation. How well does your body break itself down and rebuild itself? If you have genetic SNPs like MTHFR and COMT and things like that, that prohibit your body from breaking itself down and building itself back up efficiently, then you're going to need like massive amounts of B12, B6, folate, riboflavin, which is B2, things of that nature. So that RDA is not going to be the standard for you. So when I'm looking at a person's panel, I'm always taking things like that into consideration. Do they have a thyroid issue? So then we're going to want to make sure that we maybe have even more than the RDA of things like vitamin A, D, E, K, those B vitamins again, selenium, things like that, to make sure that their thyroid is being nourished, and make sure that their amino acids are on point, and glutathione levels and all of that good stuff. So we want to take into those conditions as well. So this panel goes along really, really well with some of the other panels that we might do, like a food sensitivity panel and a oat panel or stool panel, and really putting together the pieces of the puzzle. Okay, so if we come back with a food sensitivity panel where it's like, you most definitely have leaky gut syndrome, holy moly, we get your micronutrient panel back and you're deficient on all your B vitamins. Well, your B vitamins play a vital role in how your body breaks down nutrients and actually utilizes your food and converts it into energy. How well does your body utilize your carbs, your proteins, and your fats is heavily dependent on various B vitamin status. So we want to make sure that we're, completing the puzzle, and we're looking at all of these different variables and components when we're trying to figure out what is the root cause, what do we need to do to get a person back to total health, reach their full health potential, and really get to the root of a lot of these health conditions that we're seeing. Another thing that we have to take into consideration is that glucose and insulin interaction. So sometimes that will come back off on a person's panel. So whether that's a deficiency or whether it's a borderline issue, we kind of want to look back to what are their food cravings? What is their weight at? What is their HbA1c at right now? Do they have a chromium deficiency as well? Like, these things all play into how well the body is utilizing those carbohydrates, utilizing insulin, balancing out blood sugar, just using your food in general. So these are all things that we really want to use as clues and indicators into what is going on in a person's body. So this can be a super, super helpful panel. It's just 2 vials of blood that are going to be taken. And like I said, I can find a lab for anybody, anywhere. So if you would like to have this panel done and see what is going on in terms of deficiencies in your body, then definitely reach out to me. You can email me at thole.erin@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, which is erinthole.com, and request a free consultation. Either way is perfectly fine with me. I'm going to get the recommendation or the request either way. So recommend that, or request, that free consultation, and let's talk about your health and what panels would be vital for your health and wellness and getting you to your health goals in 2024 and beyond. So thank you. Have a great day.